All right, so here we are. My name is Fadi Kudair. I'm here in the Kanata on the Rocks, and I'm interviewing today Mr. Adam Phomin. Adam Phomin is the owner, operator of CrossFit Fitness here, CrossFit Closer in Kanata. Adam, tell us a little bit more about the business.
Yeah, so we are a about 7,000 square foot facility here in Kanata. This is our third location technically, and basically we are a community of like-minded people who like to work hard towards health.
So you said this is the third location. Was it always in this area, or?
Yeah, we were actually just in the building back there. We started in a small space, knocked down a couple walls, got a little bit bigger, and then outgrew that, and then now we're here.
So Adam, what got you turned on to fitness and health? And
Fitness was from a young age. I mean, I was always into sports, and then in high school started volunteering in a YMCA. And I think it was just exposure to people that, took care of themselves that drew me towards it. And then throughout university, I was in a co-op program, in a kinesiology program. So I was taking co-op jobs that were fitness related. And in one of them where I was working at the Ontario Police College in Elmer, Ontario, which is a post-hire facility for all police in Ontario, I met a guy who was doing CrossFit, and I watched him and I was like, I have no idea what you're doing, but I feel like this kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So I dug into the theory a little bit, and it was like a light. It was like this is what we should be doing. Why would we be doing anything else?
Fantastic. And I have actually myself, I've only been doing CrossFit for roughly about a year and a half, almost 2 years coming up in November. And it's life-changing. Like I find the way, like so much energy, so much, mobility. Like I couldn't even do this before. Now I'm like, moving around and my squats. Speaking of which, actually, why are you always barefoot?
Yeah, this has been a transition for me over over my life of fitness. I think I used to be a little bit more like everybody else that'll try to get the gear that's going to help them lift more, which has its place, absolutely. And I think I've gotten to a place where I'm less concerned about lifting the heaviest stuff, and I'm more concerned about what's most natural for my body. Also, what's going to translate outside of the gym a little bit more. So if I need all of that gear to go and lift something, we just bought a farm a couple of years ago, and I do a lot of physical work out there. And if I needed to go get my belt and my wrist wraps and my knee sleeves, every time I needed to go shovel some poop, my day would be 5 times.
Yeah, well, the animals would be gone by then.
They'd be gone, right? So it's just I want to be prepared for anything outside of here. So the way that I'm going to practice in here ideally leads me towards that direction.
So would it be fair to say CrossFit is for life, fitness for life?
Oh yeah. I mean, so one of the main components of CrossFit is functional movements. And one way to define functional movements is that they are important and they're translatable to real life. We're going to do things like deadlifts, where you're going to be picking things up off the floor, squats, where you're literally, can you get on and off the toilet? It personally, there's a place for isolation movements in rehab, but if I'm aiming to train for life, I should be doing the movements that I do in life and just at a higher capacity, so that whatever I see out there, I got.
I'm finding lately, like there's a lot of athletes that are in different streams. Like, you look at the swimmers, you look at the guys that are doing, for example, cross-country skiing, the folks that are doing wrestling and all of that. And somehow, if you dig into a little bit of their profile, CrossFit is a big component.
Yep.
So that, to me, like that speaks volumes. It just shows that, look, this is training for life. It's going to help you do everything that you're doing regularly, except that you're not going to be, feeling the pain, because obviously, we're always in pain. It's normal for CrossFit. Well, especially on the circle, like when we do the circle, I just like every circle, it's like you can't get up. But I find, honestly, it gives people that ability to like be able to literally just pick up and go in whichever sport, whichever stream you want to go, without necessarily having to, how do I train for this? Or it's a wholesome training from what I've gathered so far, from what I've seen. I've even noticed, like when I play soccer, my soccer skills have I feel like I'm a 20-year-old again.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
The program was initially created for first responders. Because, and I mean, you obviously have background here as, say as military or firefighter or paramedic, you're going into a situation and you've got an idea of what you might see. But the specifics of it are always going to be different, and you got to work on the fly. So the goal of creating CrossFit was to create a fitness base that was broad, general, inclusive, that was prepared for the unknown and unknowable. So really what it is creating athleticism and it's creating a base of fitness that on top of which you could layer skills like soccer or basketball or whatever. But without that foundational fitness, you're going to be limited in your sport specific.
I'm glad that you brought this up, because I find it a lot of times when I tell people, what do you do for fitness or whatever, you look like you're taking care of yourself. And I say CrossFit, everyone comes up with this old adage that it's, holy shit, it's like, it's so much scary.
Right.
It's frightening for some people. Invite the audience to tell them a little bit more about why this is not scary.
So, and it really comes back to the idea of functional movements, right? So if, on a day we're doing back squats, and you're over there and you've got your 200-300 pounds on that barbell. I've got a couple PT clients here that are in their 90s, and their back squat would literally be, I want you to touch that chair and I want you to stand up. So it's the same thing. They're practicing those same movements. Our needs, one of the quotes that Greg Glassman gave in the beginning of this is, our needs don't differ from Olympic athletes in type, but in quantity or amount, right? So the things that I need to do are the same as a young person, a middle-aged person, an old person. They just might need higher capacities of it, but the skills and movements are all the same.
Which brings me to my favorite movement ever. I hate it, but I love it at the same time. The burpees. Everyone is gotta be able to do a burpee, I think, because if you can't get up, that's a big problem.
Yeah, I say if you can't do a burpee and if you can't squat, you can't live independently. You need someone taking care of you, wiping your butt.
Yeah.
And really, I think our goal in life is to extend that as far as possible, or never be in that situation.
And it does, when you look at people that are working out and doing, CrossFit or any other functional sort of activity, they always have, you could tell they're less aging, or they're not aging as fast as other people, I think. Which, again, why are we not doing that on a regular basis?
I think there's a couple aspects. I think one is that once you get into something serious like this, you dig in more and more. So, hey, I've made all this progress. How do I get further with it? And then from there, we start digging into nutrition. And the people that take it seriously with their health, they create a holistic approach of health, and they make sure that all those components are there. And what that does is, as opposed to your results being like this, they're like a hockey stick, right? So you start looking at your stress levels, you look at your sleep and your nutrition and all of that, and what you notice is, in combination with good training, you fix those things, and it's just like acceleration.
And the food kind of plays a whole part of it, obviously. It keeps you well in nutrition and all of that. It helps you with the workout, but also it helps you better skin,
everything,
feeling healthy. You're not groggy, all of that. And I think for me, one of the biggest things that I found, my heart rate just dropped. I'm right now at a 42-year-old actually, and my heart rate is about 40 resting. Which most people are like, what the hell? How is that possible? But honestly, it's been for the last couple of years, coming here and just continuously cleaning up and
getting better and better,
doing all of that crazy movements. With that being said, Adam, I just wanted to kind of let the folks that are watching us here know a little bit more about CrossFit Closer in particular, and what do you guys do with the community? And how you've been helping the community as well.
I may give a bad answer on this, but the way that I see the community is that, if you've got a few good people, they create more good people, because you see, you've heard that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And we're super lucky here, because the type of people that come in and stay are really like the people you want to be. Right? They've got their lives together. They're taking care of themselves, and they're setting good examples for their kids and their communities. So sorry, cop-out answer, but it's almost grown itself. There's obviously some cultural things that we've instilled that, hey, we celebrate everybody afterwards, and we take coaching, and we're serious about those things. So that helps create that culture as well. But once it's started, it propagates itself.
Yeah, and it's actually a little bit addictive. I noticed with the, whenever I'm doing something for the first time, where it's a PR, I'm not even noticing myself that I'm doing the PR. I know in my head that I'm doing it, but all of a sudden I hear the whole gym just quiet and cheering me on and going, what the hell? But it's because the coach is always watching. And the coach is pushing, and then the coach is also helping everybody else celebrate with you. Which makes this place one of my favorite places. It's like my second home, to be honest with you.
They want you to get better at the same time as they want themselves to get better. So it just, everybody lifts each other up.
Exactly. And I think on this note, I'd love for us to just maybe invite the audience to come in and try this place out, even if it's, look, at the end of the day, Adam's going to facilitate, whether it's a week or a couple of, sessions or whatever. We're going to help you at least come here. Don't be intimidated. Just the name CrossFit doesn't really mean anything, because at the end of the day, all it is just a stream of fitness.
Yep.
But more important than anything is you got to get up and do some movement. So what do we want to do to help, invite?
Yeah, I mean, if you've never tried this, or even if you've done it somewhere else and you want to come in, you do as many free classes really as you need to find out. But I think the main point there is that you don't need to be scared. And it's okay to be a little scared coming in. But what we see is that once you take that first step, you see how welcoming the community is, and you see that those coaches are there to make sure that you're getting there step by step and not getting to a place where it's too far ahead for you. That it's accessible for anybody. We modify and we scale for any level, and I've never had someone come in that can't do it. It's just about getting in.
And we're always celebrating. Like, I find every time we see someone new, I'm like, oh my God, we got somebody new. We're really excited about it. But we're always celebrating and coming back.
Well, you know how it feels to be new, and you also know the benefit of staying long, so you want to share that with.
Exactly. And I want to put you on the spot a little bit here, Adam. What would you let the folks know as far as a promotion or something that if they're watching this, that they can refer back to and say, hey, I watched the interview, I'd love for me to use this promotion?
I mean, we always offer the free classes, so come in and try that. And we will be, over the next couple months, having some special things going on, one of which will be a full week of free, where the programming will be adjusted a little bit to make sure that it's accessible for everybody. But you can always come in and try it for free. So don't let that be a limiting factor. Like, if you're feeling a little bit of fire, like, get it, because it's so easy to drop that down.
And that's the thing, like with CrossFit, it's all about there's no limits. At the end of the day, the limits that are only available up here. And really, when you're working out and you're doing your day-to-day stuff, I find the more you apply it, the more you come in, the less those limits become visible.
Sure.
And the more you actually just let go of the reins, and all of a sudden you're free. You're able to do the movement. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I want to leave the audience on is, don't just wait for the opportunity. Come out there and try it out and see what it's like. In fact, like Adam said, try it a week or so and just see how it goes and go from there. Adam, thank you so much.
Hey,
really appreciate it, man. Again, would love to continue this fitness journey here and bring as many people as possible to this place, because honestly, it is my second home.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.
You're very welcome.
Perfect, man.